Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to introduce my project characterizing Walt Whitman's stylistic changes in Leaves of Grass. As we all know, Walt Whitman is a famous American poet, mainly known for his Leaves of Grass, which is a collection of his poems. Whitman did a lot of modification to this phenomenal work in his lifetime, resulting in 7 different editions from 1855 to 91. Today, literary scholars agree that Walt Whitman's writing style changed a lot in this 40 years time span, especially after the Civil War. The uprising of digital humanities in the recent years sheds light on the computational analysis of his stylistic changes. These are some major findings in my project. In general, there does exist a big shift in his style. However, some elements of his style changed throughout his lifetime, while some others changed only abruptly after the Civil War. Using the technique of stylometry, we find some correlation between his stylistic change and number of book reviews he received. Moreover, studying the etymology of words in Leaves of Grass, we found Whitman's favor of Latinate words. Finally, we detected a plunge in the sentiments of editions after the Civil War using a sentiment analyzer. Now let's turn to the actual process of data analysis. First, I downloaded all TEI files of Leaves of Grass, as well as the book reviews on Leaves of Grass at that time from the Walt Whitman archive. After extracting the text from these files, I applied the TF-IDF transformer in the NLTK package to obtain 400 featured words. Then I used the PCA to get two-dimensional data, and the result is shown here. From the picture, you can see clearly a correlation between stylistic differences and the number of book reviews. Then I used the macroetymology package to obtain the proportion of words in different editions. From the picture, you can see words of Latin origin increased steadily from 1855 to 91, which marks Whitman's increasing favor of Latinate words. This favor is likely to be derived from his stay in the South as an editor of New Orleans Crescent. In addition, I used Vader to analyze sentiments in Leaves of Grass. It's noteworthy that the overall sentiment score dropped from 0.09 to 0.08 immediately after the Civil War. It is clear that the trauma of the war affected Whitman's sentiment in writing poems. There are a bunch of challenges I encountered when doing this project. The first is to extract text correctly from TI-XML files. Whitman invented a lot of poetic structures in Leaves of Grass. In addition to individual poems, there are poetic structures called sections, clusters in this book. It is not easy to get text from all these different structures encoded in XML files. The second challenge is to find appropriate elements of style which are quantifiable. Some elements that do not work out are, for example, the average size of stanzas and the standard deviation. Another example is the average hue of the text obtained by collecting all words of color. We do not observe any coherent change in these elements. The final challenge is to combine distant and close reading of the text. For instance, in order to track the decline in sentiment after the Civil War, I found some very sad pieces, such as this one, "Oh Captain, My Captain," which appear in the 1867 edition, the first post-war edition. To summarize, my project could help literary scholars guide their research on Walt Whitman's works. The project also has the potential to transform the way people read and understand literature, especially at Columbia. Students need to read a lot of books in the core curriculum, and some distant reading techniques, such as the ones in this project, could potentially help students form a better understanding of their readings. Some other benefits are cross-disciplinary application to linguistics and history. For example, Franco Moretti used computational tools to study the literary history and found the surprising patterns of novel genres in British literary history in the picture. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.